accidentally broke one of my husband's glasses, and he screamed at me, grabbed my neck and wouldn't let go. I accidentally break the glass that my husband's true love gave to him. As punishment, he sends me to a place where the upper crust groom their plaything. He wants me to go there as an apology to his true love. I suffer inhumane treatment there. Later, I manage to escape, and am brought to the hospital. That's where I find out I am pregnant. When my husband, Jared Lockwood, walked in, I was picking up the broken glass from the floor. Since marrying Jared, it had been a long time since I had done any chores. I thought for sure he'd come over to help me clean it up and take care of me like he always did. But instead, he rushed over and shoved me aside. The force of his push made the glass shards cut into my hand. Before I could even scream, he grabbed me by the throat, his face contorted in anger. "Why did you break my glass, Winter Sloan?" Before I could explain, his grip tightened, cutting off my air. By the time Jared finally let go, I was gasping for breath. His actions erased any guilt I had felt inside. With a slight irritation, I said, "It's just a glass, don't overreact. I'll just buy you a new one." Instead of calming down, he laughed at my words. "Buy me a new one? Can it ever compare to this? That glass was a gift from Naomi, the last thing she gave me before she died." My face went pale in an instant. The Naomi he spoke of was his unattainable first love, Naomi Hardin. I knew about her, but Jared and I had never fought over her because Naomi was already dead. Before we got married, my best friend, Priel Figueroa, warned me to think twice. She said that the living could never compare to the dead, but Jared assured me that he loved me, that Naomi was in the past and he had let her go. I was his present and future, I believed him. But now, as I looked at the blood oozing from my hand, it felt like reality was mocking me. I had been a fool to think that he could forget his first love so easily. I stood up intending to tend to my wound, but Jared wouldn't let go. He grabbed my wrist and demanded, "Why, Winter? Why can't you just let go of a dead person? You think breaking a glass will make Naomi's place in my heart disappear? Let me tell you, that'll never happen. You'll never measure up to her. If you didn't look so much like her, I never would have married you." My body trembled uncontrollably at his words. I had thought Jared and I were on the same page, that we were both in love with each other and loyal to each other, but it turned out that he had just been looking at me to see someone else. Rigi blatantly loved Naomi without me noticing. He carefully gathered the broken pieces from the floor, treating them like precious treasures before entering the study. Meanwhile, I shakily took out the first aid kit. The bleeding on my hand stopped, but the pain in my heart wouldn't. Rigi stayed in the study all night. I stayed in the living room thinking about everything for hours. I had hoped that remembering the good times we'd had together would convince me to stay with him, but the more I thought, the sadder I felt. I started to doubt his feelings for me. Was his love and kindness really directed at me, or was I just a shell he used to love Naomi? As that thought sank in, I realized it was time to end this. I couldn't accept being a stand-in for someone else. Just as I was about to be honest with Jared, the doorbell rang. Jared quickly came out of the study and opened the door. A group of men in black suits entered. Looking like bodyguards, was Jared in some kind of danger? I quickly asked, "What's going on, Jared? Is something wrong?" The second the words left my mouth, I regretted them. I had already decided to leave him, yet I still couldn't stop worrying. I hated myself for being so weak. The next moment, the leader of the group stepped in front of me. Before I could react, he grabbed my arm. Confused, I heard him say, "Don't worry, Mr. Lockwood. We at Hawthorne Academy are professionals. We'll make sure Miss Sloan gets the proper education." I froze at his words. I had heard of Hawthorne Academy